cannot believe you're not stepping with us this year.
I've got to focus on getting into Harvard.
There's a video online, the Sigma Beta member having sex on their lawn. You need to make SBB look like positive contributors to the community. Don't you have a big charity step competition coming up?
Let's go! I can't teach them. My black card would get revoked.
You make this SBB mess go away, and I will guarantee you admission to Harvard.
So you've written for so many influential shows, Insecure, Candy, and now Stepsisters.
Thank you.
How do you keep your ideas fresh as a writer? Because I know it must be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everywhere I go, I have to be looking for an idea. Whether I'm at a restaurant, I hear an interesting conversation, or I just see something. I just think my mind at this point is trained. For Stepsisters in particular, my screenwriter Chuck, we were at drinks one day. He had a YouTube video of a white sorority in the Midwest stepping at a black step show, and they were killing it. And we were like, because then several questions came, like, well, how did they get here? Who taught them? They seem really good. And so that's kind of how ideas get formed. Like, you can be watching a YouTube video, and you know, if your lens as a storyteller is honed enough, you can just sort of say like, I can see a story here. And so after he did that, he went off and wrote a script for 6 months, and then for about a year, we kind of workshopped that script just to fine-tune the themes, fine-tune the messages, you know. And so I just think that everything around us becomes fodder for what could be material to write about.
So where do you get most of your ideas? Like, how are you triggered for them? And how also do you contribute ideas with other writers, because you have so many other people who are writing for some, you know, prominent shows as well.
Right.
So does it ever get to a point where you're like, I want my idea and I think my idea is better? So, and how do you balance that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a familiar saying in the writer's room is that, you know, sometimes you have to kill your babies. You have to kill the things that you love sometimes, you know. But I always, whenever I'm in a writer's room or whenever I'm thinking about story, I just try to come from the most personal place possible, because that's what feels real, that's what feels authentic, that's probably sometimes what's the funniest or the most dramatic, you know. So I always think that, and again, that just goes to show, like, if you're an artist, you have to be out here living life. You have to be out here experiencing and talking to people, and there's this misperception that writers are just in some dark room just writing away, but I think writers have to live. You have to be out here living and hearing conversations and being around people. And at the end of the day, if I sometimes don't have a good idea, I'll just say, well, this is what happened to me yesterday, or this is what happened to me last week, and you never know how they can spark something else.
Absolutely. And so with Stepsisters and how you said that you saw a Midwestern sorority stepping, do you feel like this show or this movie is going to create a climate for that we can discuss cultural appropriation versus appreciation?
Absolutely. I mean, and we're even using the term cultural exchange when it comes to this film, because I think cultural appropriation has somewhat of a stench to it at this point. But cultural appreciation is also great. But I also think that even in the course of this film, I think people have to learn to appreciate cultures. And how do you do that? I think you have to share. You know, you have to share, and I think, you know, sometimes we can feel disappointed or hurt when certain people don't understand certain parts of our culture, no matter who you are, but they don't understand it if you don't show it to them or tell them, or at least to describe to them why that is, you know, hurtful or disappointing. So I think the exchange part is one thing that I'm really excited about, that I want people to probably do more of. You know, I think the world would be a better place if people were just taking the time just to hear somebody else or try to walk in somebody else's shoes, and you will see that your opinion about things can change, you know?
Go out there.